All right, it's your number one for hip hop. It's DJ Q to take over B96.5. And here virtually, I am talking to one of the super chefs. Actually, the super chef that I'm proud to say that I know. He's cool, he's down to earth, and this man can cook his behind off. I'm talking about the one and only Darnell Ferguson, aka Mr. Super Chef. What's up, Darnell?
Not much, man. What's going on?
Man, everything is good, man. You know, like I said, we had a chance to talk prior to the interview. You just been globetrotting, man, and doing your thing, man, grinding this thing out, man. And just want to say I support you, man, and love what you to see what you're doing. Um, talk about your trek, man. Just talk about what you've been having going on.
Well, lately things changed a lot with COVID, I would say. A lot of things have changed. So right now, I've really been focused a lot more on TV than I have like restaurants and opening up new restaurants. Even though right now I'm looking to open up one in the West End hopefully next spring. But at the pace we're going right now, I'm just trying to figure out some things. But just trying to knock this thing out, man, and make Louisville like the destination for food TV in general, which we're on the way to doing right now.
Well, you know, a lot of people may or may not know a brief history of you and your story, but can you give me just a brief synopsis for those that may be watching this for the first time and may be saying, who is Mr. Super Chef himself? You know, where did this guy come from? And I've been seeing him, or this is my first time seeing him.
Oh man, so for me personally, man, I got to where I'm at today by coming to Sullivan for culinary arts school. They recruited me from a vocational school in Ohio. Most people don't even know I'm from Ohio. They think my name is now like it goes hand in hand with Louisville. Even though I'm from Ohio, I consider myself like Louisville. This is my home. I've been here since I was 18. So everything I know from about being a man, I learned here. So I came down here for school, graduated, and really it's been on a fast track to trying to dominate the food industry that really has never been dominated by anyone who looks like me before. So a lot of ups and downs. I'm really literally like everyone who watches TV, who does anything, man. Like I wasn't the star jock in high school. I wasn't the most popular person. I was that middle of the road. You was cool. You knew people, but you wasn't the one. You know what I'm saying? And then when I got to I started cooking, man, and I got into what I do, and I started to separate myself from the pack, man. And I started off my restaurants inside of other restaurants. So I started off super chefs inside of the back of a gyro place. It was not the ideal place for me to do it. It was not my dreams or my goals. It was absolutely the opposite of everything I wanted. But it got me closer to where I was trying to get to in life, so I did it. Which is a big part of my story, is not doing what I want to do, but doing what I need to do. And then from there, we grew from one pop-up to one summer to four in the same summer. Then when we finally raised enough money to open our own storefront, open one up in Middletown. In St. Matthews, caught on fire like 4 months after opening. Then we opened up the next one on Barstown Road, caught a flood after that. It was just a lot of stuff to go through. But then the good started happening, and then that's when Rachel Ray called, Guy Fieri called, all these places called, and got my story out there from Rachel Ray. And then from there, it's been history, man, with TV. Been able to do Guys Grocery Games like 8 times, the Beef Bobby Flay, won the Ultimate Thanksgiving Challenge. Was on Tournament of Champions their last season on Food Network. What else? Today's Show. I'll be on Today's Show again on Wednesday.
Okay.
Doing Thanksgiving, telling all Thanksgiving tips. I just had a very blessed career, man. And then about Louisville in general, man, it's my home though. Without the support I got on a local level, like starting off with people like you, without that support, none of that national stuff happens. Because people used to tell me like, "Hey man, you got to be the man in your city first before you make a national." I'm like, nah, that ain't true. I'm gonna go national first. It don't work like that, man. If you don't love your city and if you're not supporting it, if you're not investing into it, it's so hard to get to the next level.
So that seems like quite a journey, man, just in a matter of 5 years since your first store opened, right?
Yes.
And you got currently 3 locations open. So is it Columbus?
I got Columbus Stadium, which is in Columbus. I got Alabama, which is Superhero Chefs, and I got Super Chefs, which is here. I mean, I'm in the process of changing everything over as far as like Super Chefs here in Louisville. I'm in the process of changing that over to Superhero Chefs, that name as well.
Okay. All right, man. So, today I want to talk to you about food fantasies, man. So, for a chef like yourself, for all chefs, I'm really curious to find out, one, how you ended up on the OWN TV network on a show called Food Fantasies. And then two, what is a food fantasy for a chef? Because, to me, I like and I love food, but I can't try all types of food because I have food allergies. So how do you get around those type of things being a chef? Like, I'm sure you probably ran into people like that. And maybe you have allergies yourself or maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, for sure, man. Because I have no allergies. So I eat everything, try anything one time. I got a whole different lifestyle. But I think the thing you run into a lot of times in our industry is like a lot of people don't eat pork. So if you want to show and you're a judge or something like that, and if you a pork dish, what do? In those kind of situations, like everybody doesn't eat everything. Some people just eat your what am I looking for? Some people just eat fish or whatever. But for me, I have a little easier because I have nothing I can't eat, I should say.
Now on the show, there's other chefs. Is it more of a competition, or you guys are really just expressing what your food fantasies are as chefs, and what you would serve and cook up for if in a perfect world?
Well, yeah, definitely. This is not a competition. Thank God. I leave in 2 weeks to go for another competition, but this one is not a competition. So this one is supposed to just highlight chefs and what they would do in their fantasy situation. So like the first episode, I'm on 3 episodes of this show.
Okay.
The first episode was the premiere, which was pretty cool in general because I was the first chef to go on the first ever show they did. So it's always going to tell you, like, for instance, the first show was about if calories didn't count. If calories didn't count, what's your ultimate food fantasy? So what it does is it gets chefs thinking, man, because usually you're in a fantasy world, usually in your box, usually like you got to do what you do. And that's one of the biggest blessings of what I do. Like when I do competitions and stuff like that, like that's not normal. So if you see me lose or you see me beat somebody, like that ain't normal, man. Like we don't work like that. That's like making someone who makes beats like in a beat competition right now. You have to make the perfect beat right now. It doesn't usually go like that. It usually takes some time. You listen to it. Like you don't have that now. So this one is about highlighting to really show people what 4 chefs would do with the same fantasy. That way you can see people's thoughts going like in different ways.
Now, Food Fantasies is one of a series of a block of food shows on the OWN network. Have you taken time to check out some of those other shows, and what separates Food Fantasies? I mean, I know what it's about, but what separates you and the other chefs on this show as opposed to some of the chefs on the other food shows on the OWN network?
Yeah, so OWN finally got into the food game. So this is their first slate of culinary shows in their history. So this show was the other shows I do watch because I'm friends with like Trigay, who has a show on there.
Right.
I don't know the other two, but like I support everybody, you know what I'm saying, in this industry, especially like they're Black women. So they like my mom and sisters and cousins. So I definitely watch their shows and they funny as heck. But so they picked me on. They really just wanted to see things that weren't normally in our culture. And I think that's why they had me on the show, because my style of cooking, it's not cultural. Like you can't like Black African American chefs have a dominant like soul food like aura around them.
Right.
But I don't have that aura. So therefore, like for me, my vision is to always show food like in ways people can't think of it. And it's Black because it's me cooking it. But it's for me to kind of break those barriers. And I think that's what I do with my food is you wouldn't know that I was who I was if you see my food.
Well, can you give up any of your secret recipes, or is there one thing in particular you would never give up? You don't mind, like, would you put some stuff out in a book, but there's one particular recipe you like, you know what, that's Granny's recipe. I'm never, ever, that's staying in the family.
Well, no. Okay, so answer the first question. I would never do a recipe book. I would never, ever do a cookbook. I hate recipes.
Okay.
I gotta do them for the restaurants. But it's like the most gruesome point of my career. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to sit down and write out all these recipes. So I hate recipes. I would do like cooking shows and stuff, but no, I have no recipes I wouldn't give out, man, because I've learned this from like Bobby Benjamin, who's a chef in Louisville, who used to help me out in different ways. And one thing he used to always tell me is I can give you my recipe, but if you don't have me cooking it, it ain't gonna taste the same. So, I can give you everything I got, but if it ain't me, it's gonna be different. So therefore, like, yeah, mac and cheese, anything. We getting ready for Thanksgiving now. So, everybody's like, that's my number one. I won that Thanksgiving show. So everybody thinks I know everything about Thanksgiving. When in reality, before that show, I'd only cooked one Thanksgiving dinner.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm cooking it this year, though, because my mom is coming down. But I usually don't cook that much at home, man.
Well, it seems like, you do really well under competition. It seems like, I don't want to say that's your highest peak of success. You always have been successful in the restaurant business, as we know. But, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
My favorite Thanksgiving dish is, so for me, Thanksgiving is about me not cooking. So it's going to be something I got to cook. My favorite thing, I don't know, the number one thing I have to have for Thanksgiving, and that's going to sound crazy, but it's honey bacon. Number one. Like, it's not even a close two because I don't like turkey. Turkey's the most overrated thing in the world. And I just wish that, especially, and I always speak for my people, I wish you would stop eating Thanksgiving turkey. Because it ain't even us. Like, we ain't raising no turkey, raised chicken. But turkey is the driest, the most, like, it's just, I've never been in no one's house for Thanksgiving and been like, that was some bomb turkey, man. Oh my God. Like, no, you need that gravy on top to help with the dryness.
Right.
And then if you make it through that plate, you want something else. You don't want no more turkey. You make it the ham or chicken or something.
Well, man, you know what? I'm looking forward to seeing the show on. I know it's featured on Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Food Fantasies. Yourself. There anybody else you want to shout out that's on the show with you?
No, because I didn't know a lot of them before I went on the show. I met a lot now, so I was able to network. But don't forget, we got our own competition show coming to Louisville here called Cook That Ish, where I'm gonna be highlighting chefs that are on the rise and who say they're the best at cooking a certain dish, and put them head to head to see who's really the best.
So as far as what's next for you, I read somewhere that you're thinking about maybe some TV production deal. So maybe you might be doing your own shows.
Yes, that's next, man. I just shot the pilot for it at Wave 3 Studios. Okay. And I've been in the works right now with Food Network for about, I feel like months now on my own show. But I just can't wait. Like, I'm just so tired of waiting that we started our own production. And was able to partner at Wave 3, and we're in the process right now of looking for partners. But this new show called Cook That Ish, man, it comes from the popular slogan, like Talk That Ish.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, we find two chefs who've been talking about they're the best at a certain dish. So it could be shrimp and grits. Find two chefs who say they're the best at making it. We put them head to head in a one-round winner takes all to see who can not only talk it but cook it. So that's going to be it's coming first quarter of next year. We plan on having it air, man. I feel like this is going to be historic, man. There's never been nothing like this done that's not by a major network.
So I got to ask you this one last question, man. Now, being that you're a male celebrity chef, how does your significant other, how does she win her way to your heart when normally it's through your stomach, man? So how were you able to, lock that down? Because that's normally, that's a big thing for a man to have a woman that can cook, man.
It's easier because I don't have no standards. Because I know I'm like, my wife knows like that. I don't critique much. I'm easy to cook for too. Like I'm easy to cook for as long as I'm not paying a lot. If I'm paying a lot, I'm a critic. But it's easy because man, as long as I got a meal, I can eat, I'm usually happy. So for me, it's just about doing the cooking, not really what you're cooking. See, I got to change it up because if it's about what you're cooking, then I may not be happy. But if it's about you actually doing it, like I'm like, oh, I'm good. At least you cooking.
That's what's up, man. Please, Darnell, tell everybody how to reach you online, social media, and one more time, plug the show that's on the OWN TV network, man, because you're doing it big, and you definitely putting on for your cities. I would say Columbus, Louisville, and, you know, everywhere that you're at, man, you making the world a better place through food. So let everybody know how they can reach you.
I appreciate that, man. Instagram is where I'm most active at, man, like personally. So my Instagram is superchef_23. Facebook at Darnell Superchef Ferguson. Um, but then, man, just tune in Saturday at 1 p.m. to the OWN network, man, Food Fantasies. And the next two I'm on, and one is Childhood Fantasy. Like, what would you cook for your childhood self today? And then another one is the ultimate mashup dish. What are two things that you put together that don't go together that you may work?
Wow.
So those are the next two for me. So man, tune in. It's very fun, and I get to have man. They let me just go. They're like, Darnell, you can say whatever you want to say. Usually they try to put a muzzle on me because I can't. I won't stop. But they're like, say whatever you want, man. So I had a good time.
Well, man, I appreciate it, man. It's been fun, man. Can't wait till we run into each other again, man. And it's definitely been a great interview. You got a big shout out to Patrice Thornton. She's saying congratulations to you, man.
Oh, tell her I said thank you, Patrice.
That's what's up, man. So I'm sure she can hear you. She's watching. So big shout out to Patrice. And 1 p.m. the OWN TV network on Saturdays. Make sure you check out Food Fantasies, because we definitely got one of our own 502 stand up. It's DJ Q, B96.5. Salute to the Super Chef Darnell Ferguson. Thank you.
Oh man, I appreciate y'all.
I appreciate you, brother. Peace.